Hey everybody! If you're looking for a no-scale deck in this new season, then hear me out. I made a deck with the newest evolution and it's really fun to play. I have a special strategy for it, which really boosted my win rate. And I know what you're thinking, why should I listen to this guy if I can find pro players with more than 100k subs on YouTube? Which is an understandable thought, but the answer is really easy. I'm not a pro player, and if I can have success with this deck, so can you. Anyways, here's the deck with the Royal Recruits, because of his ability to split, which is fitting for the splitting feature of the Evo Goblin barrel, but also for his ability to overwhelm the Dagger Duchess. The Skeleton Dragons as backup troops with splash damage and the ability to split too. The Tombstone as a cheap building next to the Dagger Duchess to counter lots of attacks, because it can delay troops, pull the enemy to the center to utilize the other tower's daggers, and also be of value in an attack when the enemy's Dagger Duchess is overwhelmed and out of daggers. Essentially, it's the skeleton army in a building. The Evo Wall Breakers, because they are a cheap way to get massive damage, and, you already know, because they are splittable too. And next to the Goblin Barrel 3 extra spells, because most of all attacks can be countered with only a spell and the Dagger Duchess. And I still have 1 or 2 spells at hand to support a counter attack. And as I already mentioned, I will pick the Dagger Duchess to support me. You guys probably know how to play a deck like this, but I still like to tell my strategy, so you know how I'm winning a lot with it. It's actually easy. Just hold off attacks and don't overcommit. Control the game by starting the Royal Recruits in the back and try to defend all attacks till double elixir. Occasionally throw a Goblin Barrel or a Wall Breaker. Just don't overcommit so the attack brings you in a situation where you are down in elixir. Holding off or controlling might also give the opponent the idea of dominating the game. That I don't have an answer to his play, and that might cause him to slacken his attention, so he's not prepared for the big attack. With the Tombstone and the Barb Barrel, we have a couple of cheap ways to counter attacks, so we can cycle to the Royal Recruits again. Defending this way also causes our troops to stay in our lane, while the elixir bar is getting full again. And we can build bigger attacks where we overwhelm our opponent's troops and towers. And that is exactly our play, having a lot of troops in both lanes, so we can deploy our evolved troops and destroy towers with attacks like these. If your opponent's towers are almost equal in health, I often choose to split the attack. Like Wall Breakers to the right, Goblin Barrel to the left. Just try to calculate and measure your chances. If you put the full attack on one side, the chance of your opponent clearing it with one spell is much higher. So spreading your chances is the best way to go forward. Most Clash Royale players are still choosing the Dagger Duchess to assist them, and this deck is very powerful against it. Because attacking with so much troops will make her run out of knives very quickly, and we are able to finish a tower with a low cost win condition. Just stay in control, counter your opponent's attacks, start with Royal Recruits in the back and try to overwhelm the enemy. I got another 3 attacks to show you, and after that I have more gameplay to explain the strategy in detail. It isn't always guaranteed that the attack will finish the tower at once, but with the low elixir cost cards, we can cycle quickly to the spells and finish the job. So, here's a quick recap. Starting with the Royal Recruits in the back and try to hold off all attacks. With the splitted recruits, I got 3 defending on the left, which is enough in most of the cases, but the ones on the right will do some chip damage, or the opponent has to overcommit and spend too much elixir. Here's the next attack. Just hold off the attack on the left lane, and you can already try to use a Goblin Barrel or Wall Breakers to support the attack on the right and to cycle them for the big attack. And as you can see, the Dagger Duchess is quickly out of daggers and it's easy to do some chip damage. Here's the third attack that we are going to counter. We're just holding off the attacks till we have the evolved cards ready. When they are ready, we're going to deploy the Royal Recruits again, counter his attack, and then we are ready to release our surprise attack. Since we already have a lot of troops on the left, I choose to deploy the Wall Breakers on the right and also throw the Goblin Barrel on the right, because the opponent can't defend both of them, and we increase the chance of getting a tower down. Here's another example. If you encounter another tower than the Dagger Duchess, we can alter the strategy a little bit, because now we can do damage with a single Wall Breaker attack or a single Goblin Barrel attack. Just make sure you don't spend more elixir than the opponent, so you are prepared for a counter attack. If you sense that his attack can be powerful, you can always split the recruits shifted, so you have 4 in defense on the left lane. Taking a small amount of damage is acceptable, because most of the times, after countering his attack, we still have troops alive for a small counter attack. Here's another push of the opponent. At this time I already know that 3 recruits is enough to defend it, and I got 2 evolved cards ready. His left attack is already 12 elixir. Now he has to overcommit on the right side with the knight. Another mini P.E.K.K.A embeds, so I'm able to spend some more elixir as well. I'm just countering his attack without a lot of effort, and I'm in control of the situation. With my 2 win conditions and the spells, I have multiple options to finish a tower. Again, I'm trying to spread my chances, and it's really hard for my opponent to defend this. With this next example, I like to show how much you are in control with this deck. After defending a push, I'm having a lot of troops on the right lane and I can throw a cheap Goblin Barrel. The opponent is struggling with this and I almost got a tower down in one attack. From here on, I already know that I've won because I have multiple spells and I can cycle them quickly. The rest of the game isn't me trying to showboat, it's just with this video in mind that I wanted to have some footage to show how much of a control deck this is. I hope the opponent can forgive me for this, because it might look that I'm trying to humiliate him, but that's really not the case. Even when he's positioning all of his cards to the right lane, he's not able to get through. And of course, it's also because the Dagger Duchess is still overpowered, and I'm not sure how the next nerf of the tower will affect this deck. But in the meantime, I'm having fun with this deck and I hope you can have it as well if you'd like to try it out. Also against cycle decks this will work. Here's some footage against a Hawk cycle deck. I chose to speed up a lot of gameplay in this video, so my examples won't take forever and I can show more in less time. But if it's too disorganized, please let me know and I will take it into account when I'm making future videos. So far I didn't get a lot of damage done, but neither did the opponent. As long as he allows me to, I'm starting with the royal recruits in the back, so at the time they approach his territory, I already gained a lot of elixir to try a Goblin Barrel and see how he responds. Again the recruits in the back, but this time I'm saving more elixir, so I can have my fireball ready when he deploys his Tesla. There he is. It wasn't the best placed fireball, but with the arrows I can finish it, and this tower is already out of daggers. So now I will keep pushing with the wall breakers and the Goblin Barrel, and he can only defend one side with the lock. The opponent realizes it and he yields, so I can finish it with all my troops. To my last example. Another quick recap, the strategy is to be opportunistic and wait for the opponent to attack so you can counter it, but if he waits for you, you can start with the royal recruits in the back. As soon they stepped into his territory, you can support both lanes by splitting the dragons, and you can already try to do a pinch with the wall breakers or a Goblin Barrel. We've got spells ready for support and we're already doing some damage. After that, counter his responses and we can do it all over again. Royal recruits in the back, split the dragons at the bridge and support the attack with your spells. And deploy one of your win conditions. It is a bit repetitive, but it's really efficient. I already know that the right tower is mine and I'm feeling comfortable to use my spells in the early stages of his attack. Just stay in control, counter his attacks and you will be fine. Of course you will encounter better players in top ladder and higher divisions, but still this is a very competitive deck. That's it. I really hope you're going to try it out, because it's really effective. Let me know if you used it and what you think of it. I hope to see you back in my future videos. Thank you for watching.